Why two? Listen, bro. Today we are here to talk about being reliant on others. Now we've all been there, bro. We've all been relying on others, man. At the end of the day, when we started as toddlers to teenagers, we was relying on our parents, bro. Some of us today, we might still get a helping hand from our parents. Like my OG make sure like I eat good all the time. Facts. Everything y'all see me eating, that's him. Besides that, I'm not too overly relying on my OG. My OG is very reliable. But there's been times I've been relying on friends, people, and the only thing I learned is that's one of the best ways and easiest ways to get let down, bro. That's one of the easiest ways to get let down. And in being reliant on others, bro, you take away the factor of being independent. Think about it. When you're young, you depend on your parents to then become independent. They teach you how to drive or whatever, get your license, you learn to get your own crib, your own apartment. You learn to get your own apartment. You start to do things on your own, and you can't grow up to then go back to being dependent on others. As a grown up, you gotta be independent. Reason you gotta be independent, you gotta understand, like, bruh, this is a testament of seeing how much potential you have, how much willpower do you have inside. Like, for instance, there's been so many tough situations that I'm facing to where you could cop out by being dependent on this person or this situation, but it's like, nah, you can't take that cop out. You gotta face the situation on your own and realize, like man, yo, I have the potential to overcome anything. I have the potential to face hardship or whatnot and overcome that. I am independent, because this is what being a human is all about. That's why we start young, then we grow up. When you're depending on friends and other people, they could easily let you down, because at the end of the day, they're not really entitled to really do much for you. In their perspective, yeah, you might have held them down, been there, which in life, that's the way to be, man. Is just to reciprocate that energy that's dealt to you. But some people don't think like that. They think like, man, I don't know why you relying on me anyways. You was a grown up. That's like a person's really first thought when they're not able to show up on you when you're relying on them. So you should not be relying on no one but yourself and God. You should not be relying on no one but yourself and God, because there has been a certain potential, bro, that's put inside of you to where God believes whatever situation he hands you, you have the ability to deal with that. You have the ability to overcome that. You have the ability to get through that. You have the willpower potential to get through that. But once you kind of become dependent on someone else, it's like you're convincing your conscious mind and conscious self, like, I can't handle this. I can't deal with this. I need help. And don't get me wrong, at some point in time, we do need a little bit of assistance. But that comes with being dependent and understanding, I got the potential to take care of this. There's many times out there you behind the screen, you have depended on another person and they let you down. They didn't come through. They didn't deliver. They couldn't deliver. They left you hanging. And you might have got frustrated and upset, but you only frustrated and upset because you was dependent on this person. If you wasn't dependent, you wouldn't even care, because you would realize, like, most people aren't reliable anyways. Why I gotta depend on myself and God? This is an important message, bro, because like as folks, bro, we're always dependent on one person, like, and that one person can poof disappear or poof not show up for you in your most time of need. And that basically is gonna leave a bitter taste, have you frustrated, but you shouldn't have been dependent in the first way, in the first place. Only person you need to be dependent on is yourself and God, because God has put that potential inside of you, that willpower inside of you, to where God believes that, look, this person right here is able to handle whatever